Hey YouTube, I just got my Autocato X85, got it about a week ago, and today was the first day I put a car on it, no issues. However, I did have a few issues when I got it, so I just thought I'd go over a few things in case it might help somebody else out. First of all, when it arrived, the box it was in, the crate it was in, and the pallet were really in bad shape. So luckily this thing's so tough that not a whole lot of damage was done, but some damage was done, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. So here's the control unit, which I affectionately call R2-D2. I put a hole in the door of it to give me a little more height for some more flexibility. And I also hardwired it around a 20 amp circuit and hardwired it. Plug is fine. I've seen everybody else using plugs, but I just hardwired it. Anyway, so a couple of things. First of all, be sure when you're putting the hydraulic line on, also tighten the fitting that's there and tighten any hydraulic fittings. Give them a little snug tight because one of mine was loose. I think it was that one. Let's see. Oh, so you got blue going to blue, and then you got red going to, I don't have my glasses on, gray, whatever it is. This one you can't mess up. This one you could possibly mess up, just do blue and blue, and you're good to go. A little nut here to keep from pulling through. Let's see. Let me raise this thing up. So we got same panel, control panel as everybody else, except this does have an emergency stop. I'll just mention that as fast as it's going up now, it goes up just as fast when I had my Ford Focus on it. It was no slower. And it goes down fairly quick with my Ford Focus. We also have, I'm gonna lock it down. There we go. And I turn it off whenever I'm done so that nobody tries to kill me. But anyway, we also have a Fusion, which is about 700 pounds heavier. So I might have to, there's an adjustment in there. I'll show you. Where you can slow down the, right there where my finger's pointing, right behind the hydraulic connection. You can adjust that, change your rate of descent. So the first time I ever used this, like it is now with no load on it, wired it up, plumbed it up, everything level, and I lifted it, raised it to its maximum height without issue. And then I lowered it all the way down without issue. And then when I tried to raise it again, it would not raise. And I'll cut to the chase. The issue was this little switch right here. This is a height limit switch. So you can see as the bar's moving that way, it's gonna push down on that switch. Well, this thing, you can adjust it a couple of different ways. You can adjust it in and out. And you can also adjust the angle that the switch is on. And that switch is normally closed, but if you press it this way or this way, it opens. And what happened is when my when my lift was all the way down, because this was up so high, it was pushing it down, opening the circuit, and I couldn't raise it. So what I did, when I was troubleshooting it, I knew it had to be something like that, to be honest with you. But this is a contactor for those, and I know a lot of you know all this already, so forgive me if you already know. But anyway, it's a big relay, and you can manually depress it right here. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm doing this demo, but you can manually depress it. And that way it does two things. First of all, it lets you know that the electric motor and the hydraulics are working fine. But second of all, it lets you lift it up so that you can actually get to that switch and test it out. So what I did is I just simply removed the switch, laid it over on its side, and then it worked fine. But then I went and I adjusted that lever, that arm on it, and put it back in place. And that works exactly as it was designed to. Let's see. So mine, like many others I've seen on YouTube, are just a little bit out of sync. So you hear click, 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 instead of one solid click. But that doesn't seem to be an issue. It's more noticeable when there's no load on it. When there's a car on it, it's not quite as noticeable. What else? Oh, I guess during shipping, one of my sliders got broken. So this slider right here was broken. A piece of it was off. And so I've got that thing somewhere. And so when I was, I don't know where it is. Anyway, it broke like a quarter of it off. And I don't know what that stuff is. I've tried to Google to find out what it is. And I think it's some kind of nylon, plastic nylon. I don't know. But it is really hard. Hard as a rock. I had a tiny little sliver. Tiny little thin sliver. And I tried to break it with my fingers. I couldn't break it. I thought maybe it was ceramic. But I can't find any evidence of that. But anyway, be sure to grease your slider tracks. And underneath these white sliders, grease underneath there as well. And in fact, if you want to drop a little bit of oil so that it makes its way, because this rotates inside there, you can do that. But anyway, it's done really nicely. Everybody says that, but it's true. Everything's laid out really well. I touched all my connectors to make sure everything was tight. Here's your timer adjust for your descent. You can increase the time or decrease it depending on, it's just the amount of time it goes up until it turns off the power and lets it go down to allow the solenoids to release the ratchet. And I'll also have a video out there where I'm actually lifting a car and lowering it. But this thing's really, really nicely made. Yeah, I'm real pleased with it. I guess that's it. So it was really, that switch was out of adjustment, which made it not work at all. Oh, I will say the seller that I got it from, they were so helpful. First of all, the shipper, AAA Cooper, oh my gosh, they would not, I knew it was I live close to Charlotte, and I knew it was in Charlotte, but they just wouldn't deliver it. I mean, I'd call the lady, would set up a window of time, and nobody would come. And that happened 3 or 4 times. So I finally engaged the seller, and the next day it was here. So they were awesome. And then when I told them about, and this was all through messaging on Amazon, when I told them about, I asked them if they could supply me with a schematic before I figured out that it was this thing. They supplied me with a schematic, but it's in Chinese, and it's really not a great schematic. I used to be an electronics technician, and it's not a great schematic. But anyway, I didn't really use it because I had it figured out before they contacted me back. And also, I told them that one of the sliders was broken, and they immediately put one on order. So I had that within about 4 days. So yeah, because I tried to get one through Temu, and they just canceled it with no explanation. I got my money back, but it was frustrating. And then these guys who I got it through, I actually paid for an X80, but they told me it was out of stock. And so they bumped me up to the X85 at no additional charge. They're awesome. So go through Amazon and if you want to know who I got mine through, I can let you know. Anyway, I guess that's about it. It's awesome. Haven't really used it other than just testing it, but it did cause me to rearrange my whole garage, which I'm real happy about, that it's all really orderly now. I'm really stoked about that. And this thing's on big rollers. I can move this out of the way, move my floor jack, then that thing will roll out of the way. So I've got 2 feet on this side. I got 2 feet on this side. And it's, you know, I think it'll work out really well. I won't be able to put my truck on it because I just don't think it's worth it. But I've got these big aluminum ramps that are awesome. So, all right, I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm gonna sign off. Later.